In today's episode, we're diving into some fun and easy to do outdoor projects that you can create using supplies from your local Dollar Tree. I hope you enjoy. For the first project, you'll need a few of Dollar Tree's plastic serving trays, as well as 2 of the garden tool handles. The serving trays come in a variety of different colors. I chose a light blue, a navy blue, and a red. I'm going to be using 3 for this project, but you can make as many as you like and choose whatever colors that you want to create this project with. For each of the trays, I'm going to flip them over to the bottom. I'm using a chalk paint because it adheres very well to plastic. I'm going to carefully paint just that center portion on the bottom of the tray. This will take 3 coats. I'm going to allow it to dry in between each coat, and you want to do very thin layers. I'm going to do the exact same design on the lighter blue tray. I'm taking my time to make sure that I can get that paint line as clean as possible, and then I'm going to feather it in from all the sides to the center. I want to paint a different design on the red tray. I'm still going to paint the center of the bottom of the tray, but I'm going to leave that circle at the very center the red color. I'm also going to paint the entire outer edge all the way around and in between each of the trays. This will take 3 coats, allowing it to dry in between each coat. And if you haven't guessed already, we are making the most adorable outdoor flowers. Once the final coat of paint is dry, you'll want to seal it with something like perhaps this crystal clear glaze. I'm going to be using Mod Podge, and I'm going to use a gloss Mod Podge so that it will have the same sheen as the plate itself. It'll be nice and shiny. You want to seal your paint, especially since it's going to be outdoors. This is going to make it last a lot longer. I'm going to apply that over all of the painted portions on all 3 of the trays, and let that dry for about an hour to an hour and a half. Using 2 of Dollar Tree's garden tool handles, remove the handle from each of those. Leave one the full length, and the other one I measured and marked halfway so I could cut this in 2. Now, I didn't have the proper tools to cut this in 2 because it is metal, so I started off with my wood saw so that I could just get it opened up enough so I could take the 10 snips to cut it the rest of the way. Just be super careful. You should probably wear gloves and eye protection because it is metal. Just be very, very careful not to cut yourself. I did go back and use the 10 snips to clean up those 2 ends. So one of them's still going to have that twisty part because you can't pull that out. In order to be able to put these in the ground, you could take the stake out of one of Dollar Tree's solar lights. It's not a snug fit, it's actually very loose. So I'm going to take some duct tape and wrap that around the end to thicken that up to be able to put it in the end of each of these as well as the end of one of the longer handles that we didn't cut. And then I'm going to take this tool that my husband has and squeeze the end of that around the garden stake to hold that in place, and that's going to make it a little bit more sturdy and easier for me to put these in the ground. Now it's time to attach our handle to our tray. We're going to flip that over, and right where the 2 trays are, right in the middle, that's where I want to attach it. To attach it, I'm going to use a very strong adhesive. This is Gorilla Glue. I'm going to place that all along that raised portion between the 2 trays, and to reinforce it and hold it in place, I'm going to use some duct tape. And I'm going to go all the way down the line where the handle is to the bottom of the tray. This is really going to hold it in place, not only until the glue sets up, but it's going to keep it from moving around from side to side. And I'll do that for all 3 trays. I used the longest handle on the red tray, and now they're ready to be placed outside, and they add a beautiful pop of color to any outdoor space. For this project, I'm using a clear plastic plate that you can buy in a set at Dollar Tree in their party section. I'm going to set this on a piece of printer paper so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. And I'm also using a fine tip Sharpie marker as well as one of Dollar Tree's stencils. It has several flowers on it. I'm going to line up my design in the center of the plate, push the stencil down, and then draw the outline of the stencil using that fine tip Sharpie. As I'm going around the stencil, I am making sure to push each section down so that I can get that entire outline drawn out. I chose the Sharpie because a pencil would not show up very clear on this plastic plate. Now I'm going to be using 2 detailed brushes to paint this, as well as 2 acrylic paints, one in the color Flag Red and one in Holly Branch Green. You only need a very little amount of paint, but you're also going to need some Mod Podge. I'm using gloss, and I'm going to mix 1 part of the gloss Mod Podge to 1 part of the paint. Mix that thoroughly, and then use the detail brush to paint all of the areas that I want to paint red. You want to try your best to stay within the lines, but if it goes outside of the line, it's okay. And you only need to do 1 coat of this. You can put it on as thick as you like. The Mod Podge is just going to give it more of an opaque look. We want to somewhat be able to see through it. We're not going for an entire full acrylic paint coverage. Once I have painted all of those areas with the red paint, I will repeat that process using the green paint. Again, I'm going to mix this with 1 part paint and 1 part Mod Podge. Once I'm finished painting all of the areas that I want to paint green, I am going to let this dry for 2 hours. I wanted to make sure that mine was completely dry and that it did not smear or smudge when I take a regular sized Sharpie to go around all of the painted portions. We're making a faux stained glass, and this Sharpie is going to provide those lead marks or the lead outline as you would see on a stained glass. Then I'll take the edge of the Sharpie to go around the edge of the outside of the plate just to give it a nice crisp black line all the way around. And give that time enough to dry. Now we need a way to hang this up, so I'm going to set this on a piece of wood, make a mark so that I can very carefully drill a hole at the top of this plastic plate. I'm using a very small drill bit and I'm going very slow to help prevent from cracking or splitting this plate. Then you'll want to make sure that you clean any of the debris off. I'm also going to take a cotton ball and some rubbing alcohol and very carefully go over this plate to remove any fingerprints or any smudge marks. I want it to be as clean as possible. Once the rubbing alcohol has dried, I'm going to take that gloss Mod Podge, and you want to put a very thick layer on there. This is going to give the entire plate that transparent stained glass look. Once I've covered the plate, I'm going to take my brush, dip it into the Mod Podge, get a good thick amount on there, and then just pounce the brush up and down, making these very thick sections all throughout the glass, trying to prevent air bubbles. But you may get a few air bubbles in there, and that's okay. Just dip your brush into that Mod Podge, get a good thick layer, and just pounce it up and down on top of the plate, including the rim, and let that completely dry. I actually let mine dry overnight. And look at that beautiful texture in there. Now I'm going to be using some clear elastic cording, but you could also use some clear fishing line to hang this up. You'll need to take something sharp to go back through the hole that you previously drilled. Since you put such a thick layer of Mod Podge on there, you need to clear that out so that you'll be able to feed your line through. I'm just going to take the 2 ends and pull it through the loop and double knot that on the end, and now you have a beautiful way to hang up your faux stained glass plate. For this project, I'm using some wooden clothespins from Dollar Tree. They come 60 in a pack. They used to be 36 in a pack, so you actually get more for your $1.25 now. You'll need 2 packs, but you're not going to use all of these. They come about 20 on a sheet, so you'll need at least 84. So we'll pull another sheet out as well as 4 more. So we're actually going to make about 42 of 2 different colors. I'm using a plastic bowl from Dollar Tree, and I have 2 different color yellows. I have a bright yellow and a moon yellow. I didn't want it to be as bright as the bright yellow or as dark as the moon yellow, so I'm going to use the majority of the moon yellow and add a little bit of the bright yellow in it just to lighten it up a little bit. And then I'm going to add in some water and thin that out and mix that up really well. I'm using the lid off an old tote, but you could use a box lid or a piece of cardboard for this. And I'm going to place some wax paper on top of that to prevent the paint from sticking. So it's not going to stick to the wax paper. I actually did 46 clothespins, but you definitely don't need that many. You actually only need 41 for this yellow color. I'm going to place each of those wooden clothespins into the paint mixture and using my paintbrush, move it around until all sides are covered. Then I'm going to use some tweezers just to keep me from getting paint all over my hands and place this on top of the wax paper. I'm making sure that I leave enough space so that it will dry, and I'm also making sure to place them on one side only. I will continue to do that until I have all of these 41 clothespins painted. I just found that this was so much easier and quicker to paint these instead of having to paint each one individually, and I can make sure all sides are coated. I let that completely dry, and then I'm going to flip this over so that the other side can dry. I'm making sure that I place each of these on a different section of the wax paper because the paint on the wax paper is still wet as I'm flipping it over. So you'll just want to make sure that you have enough wax paper laid out to flip each one over individually so that all sides can thoroughly dry. For the other 41 clothespins, I placed these on some foam board, making sure I left enough room between each one because I'm going to be spray painting these. This is another really easy, quick way to get paint on all sides of these clothespins. I'm going to paint that in one direction, come back and paint the sides in the opposite direction just to make sure that everything gets covered, and then allow it to dry depending on the weather, maybe 30 to 40 minutes, and then you can flip it over and paint the other sides the exact same way, and don't forget to paint the very ends. I'll let that dry completely for about an hour to an hour and a half. I left the clothespins on the foam board because I'm going to be using a white oil-based Sharpie, but if you don't have one, you could also use some white acrylic paint. I find that it is easier to use the Sharpie because I want to make some polka dots. I'm going to create 4 on the top part of the clothespin and 2 at the bottom, just creating the same design on each individual clothespin. And let me show you just a little bit closer up. That's how it looks once it's done. I will be using one of Dollar Tree's 14-inch wired wreath forms. And I'm going to go ahead and put my clothespins in a tray just to make it easier for me to get to. I'm going to start off with the yellow one and put that on the 2 wires closest to the center of the wreath. And it's just going to sit in those 2 holes on the clothespin. Then you'll take the black one and we're going to put that on the 2 center wires. So just 1 wire above the yellow one, so it's going to look like this. It's going to be a little bit loose until you fill in that one section. So I'm just going to continue to alternate that pattern and push them side by side until I get that one section done, and then they'll be nice and tight within that section. Just continue to repeat the pattern until you have the entire wreath covered. When you get to the very last section, there will be a little bit of space there. You're not going to be able to fit another clothespin, and it will also kind of mess up the pattern. Just kind of separate it a little bit in that section because we are going to be adding this beautiful metal sign from Dollar Tree. Now the chains on it are a little too long to fit within our wreath, so I am going to remove one of the links of the chain, but make sure to keep that. Just set it to the side, then close the chain back up and repeat that process on the other side, saving both of those links to the chain. That's how we're going to attach it to our wreath. So we're going to very carefully flip our wreath over, flip our sign over, and make sure that you're using the section that has that little bit of space in there. You're going to take those links that we took out of the chain, add it to the handle on the metal sign, and close that up. So you'll add both of those on top of that metal handle and close those with your pliers. So it's going to look a little bit like this. I'll give you a closer view. So you just have two hooks on there, which was the previous links from the chain. Then you can take those hooks and add it to the second wire from the center of the wreath and close that up. Not only does this give us a way to hang the sign in the middle of the wreath, but it also tightens up the clothespins in that one section. For this project, I'm using one of Dollar Tree's large plastic serving plates. It has an absolutely gorgeous design on the bottom of it. I'm also using a metallic copper spray paint. I'm going to take this outside and flip it over and only paint the bottom. I'm going to apply 2 thin coats, allowing it to dry in between each coat. This metallic copper color is absolutely gorgeous, and you can see all of the beautiful designs from the top of the plate. You'll also need 2 of Dollar Tree's $1.25 planters. I chose this design, and I love that the black and the copper are going to go really well together. You'll flip it over to the bottom and use a very strong adhesive. I'm using a Gorilla Glue. Apply that all around the very bottom of one of those planters, and then add your second planter on top. Set something heavy in it to make sure that the 2 pieces bond well together, and allow that glue to set up. Now you have a very sturdy piece, however it is a little bit lightweight, so to keep it from blowing around, I'm going to add in a few rocks in that top planter. This will make it a little bit more sturdy since I am going to have this outside. Then you can take some of your permanent adhesive and apply that to the rim on the top part of the planter and add your plastic tray. Because that tray is so shallow, you can add some water and turn this into an absolutely gorgeous bird bath. They'll have plenty of space to splash around in the water, and yet it's not too deep. Or you could even turn it into an end table. I don't recommend that you put anything heavy on it because that top piece is plastic. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you have a favorite out of today's projects, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I always love to know which one is your favorite. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love you to click that subscribe button right below the video. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Please take care, and I'll see you guys next time.